maybe just 2 or 3 ideas about effortless and how that can, a way to start thinking differently. There's 3 concentric circles, right? I want you to think about like the first one, first, second, third. The first one is the state that you're in. Now, this isn't the obvious thing. When somebody thinks about like, how can I make it easier to achieve the goals, the things that matter to me in my life, the first thing they tend to think of is how to be maybe more productive or more efficient in what they're doing. But actually, the most important thing that we can do is get in the right state. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to get into, well, what's the wrong state? A state of suffering. Now, life is hard. I already made that point, and I believe it, and I've experienced it. But maybe difficulty, challenge, even pain, that might be inevitable. But suffering, that's like a choice. We move into things that cause us to suffer, sometimes unnecessarily. So a state of suffering, what is a state of suffering? It's a state when you feel frustrated, angry, you're holding grudges. It's like you're picking up these grudges and you're putting them in your own backpack, thinking somehow that's going to help you to hold these grudges and so on, but really it just burdens you down, makes everything else in your life harder. There's this state of suffering. I was just talking to somebody recently and I asked them, what percentage of your mental and emotional energy do you think you have spent on anger and grudges? And they laughed. They just said, you know what? Probably somewhere like 60 to 70% of my mental and emotional energy has been wasted on being angry and holding grudges. I mean, think of that. Now, you wouldn't think about, if somebody said, well, what's the best productivity hack you know? What's the best way to build your business? That the most people wouldn't say, well, look, I think you need to get rid of your grudges. That's not what most people would think, but that's exactly what I found in this research for this book, is that a huge benefit that will come to you if you can declutter your mind and heart full of all of that noise and nonsense. And one specific thing that you can do immediately is the following. You can, every time you complain, like after you complain, say one thing you are thankful for. After you complain, say one thing you're thankful for. When I started doing that, I'll tell you what happened. I could not believe how much I complained. I mean, I just complained all the time, and I didn't know it because I think of myself as quite positive, quite grateful, quite optimistic. But I still found it the easiest thing to complain. I'd walk into a room, I'd see my children doing the wrong thing. Instead of seeing them doing the right things, there's plenty of things they're doing right, but I would see the thing they weren't doing, I'd be complaining. I'd talk to my wife, Anna, well, how are things going? Well, this meeting went late, this one started. I just start with the complaint. So as soon as I added this little habit recipe, when I said something I was complained, I said something I was thankful for, it just changed my state immediately, because I'm telling you right now, you cannot be in a state of anger, of frustration, of grudges, of negativity, of fear, and a state of being grateful, of positive and optimism. Like these are mutually exclusive. And as soon as you're grateful, you push out these other, the other less helpful states and get yourself into what I'm calling effortless state. So this is the difference between a state of suffering and an effortless state. The second circle is effortless action, and the third circle is effortless results. Now, I am not saying that everything in life can be easy, can be effortless. No, but I am saying there are all sorts of ways in which we make things harder than they need to be. I mean, just think about, I'll give you an example. One more specific thing you can ask is, instead of just going, well, life is suffering, it's hard, and every task you do, you say, well, it's important, but it's going to be brutally hard. Some people talk like this. Well, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. Well, some things are like that. But what if you could ask a better question? If you ask a better question, Steve talks about this all the time. It's a biblical idea. Ask and you shall receive. Well, if you're receiving things that you don't want, maybe you're asking the wrong questions. So ask, if you want to receive something better, ask a better question. Here's a better question. Ask, what if this could be effortless? How would I approach this in an effortless way?